All right.
You stole my job.
Welcome, everybody,
Indeed.
to the greatest JV hockey show on earth.
Why don't you do something around here?
Come on. Yeah. It's okay. I forgot. Normally I'm not.
Give
Recording?
the music guy a second to turn off the music so you can hear what I'm saying.
Fuck, why is it?
Sabers taking on Lakeville North today. A little bit of a mix-up in the Saber lineup. I see McNee is not on the ice today. I think he's playing varsity. Faceoff ends up in the back of the Saber zone. Lakeville controls, keeps it in the zone. Dumps it back around the net. Smith there gets a stop to that, wraps it around. No Saber on the boards though, and Lakeville will hold that in momentarily. Knutson with the puck. Skates it around the back of the net, comes out of there with some speed. Got Knutson, Johnshaw, and Tochak, the forwards. Schuler and Smith at D. As soon as I say that, they go for a change. Rampart on the ice along with Anderson. Dumped in by Lakeville. Smith collects it. Up to Anderson. Tries to go through the middle to Rampart, lost the puck. Tochak just chips it deep. She was at the end of his shift and trying to get off the ice. Lakeville gets it deep. They're going for a change. Lakeville only has 9 skaters, so their bench is a little thin.
Ooh, that is a small bench over there.
They seem to be doing just fine so far, but the third period might be a different story, so we'll see. Brisack on the ice with her sister, Dee, along with Anderson, Rampart, and Telejohn now. Rampart to Anderson, and now up to Telejohn, who backhands it into the zone briefly. Nice pass off the boards by Lakeville, gets it deep. Then Brisack bodies Lakeville North skater off the puck, loses it on the near boards. Puberty on the ice, along with John Short and Telejohn. Nice
Oh,
stick work
Chloe.
by Lakeville North, and we got a trip coming. That was some nice stick work and maybe a little bit of lazy.
Yeah, you can't hack at the feet like that.
Yeah, they'll get you every time.
Indeed.
So, 13:04 left. Lakeville's going to go on a power play. First power play of the game. Penalty kill looks like Luth, Carlson, Rampart, and Schuler. Faceoff ends up on the far side boards. Schuler ties up puck. Second Lakeville skater comes out. Bad angle shot, but Lewis had it covered, so he was starting in goal today. Puck held in the zone though. We've put some pressure on the shot, ends up deflecting off a shin guard and clears the zone. Comes back in, Schuler tries to clear, shoots it right into the Lakeville North players. Finally gets it back out to the neutral zone, but Lakeville controls. Carlson makes the entrance a little tough on them. They're having a hard time getting back in the zone. Chip up the boards, finally ends up on a Lakeville North stick. Shot gets blocked by Schuler. Backed her teammate up well there. Carlson gets the clear to wrap around the boards. It's going to go all the way down to the other end of the ice. We'll get 3 new skaters for the Sabres. Huberty, and Brisack, and Aubrey Smith. Lakeville coming into the zone with speed. Got a wrister off, it went wide. This shot is deflected just wide, redirect. Puck chipped up, not out. Lakeville controls, setting up the power play. Go back and forth on the near side. Sabres getting a little loose with the zone there. And just like that, Lakeville North takes advantage of it. Got a little
right, here we go.
So Lakeville North scores on the power play up 1-0. Even strength back on the ice. Toe check, John Shore, Knutson, Cam Krisak, and Aubrey Smith stay on the ice. Puck comes out to Krisak. She'll dump it deep, cross ice. Knutson giving chase. Clearance hits the ref. To take the help. Ends up back behind the net. Exit. Doesn't quite make it. Smith to Krisak. Tries to get back in the center of the ice, but no Sabers there. Quick counter opportunity for Lakeville, but Rampart quickly off the bench to stop that. Rampart and Carlson on the ice now with Tochek, Knudsen, and Krisak. Krisak's going to run that one down. Up the boards to Tochek, but she missed it. That's going to be an ice. Almost got lucky and got it on net, but a little off target. 10:32 left. Get a stoppage. Face-off's going to come back in the Saber defensive zone. Face-off comes up on the far side boards. Really, Krisak tied up the puck on the boards, but Lakeville North came out of there with it. Krisak ends up in the back, hands it up the boards to Anderson. She centers it. Ends up on Rampart's stick, but she's getting ridden off the puck through the neutral zone, and it's chipped back in. Krisak gets a stop to that. Puck comes out to Telejohn and then over to Anderson. She gets stick lifted from behind. Good back check by Lakeville, and they'll take over possession of the puck.
Kate was calling for that, but Lakeville would not take the bait and pass it to her.
Knudsen tried that on her shift as well. They haven't gotten one yet, but
it might work.
John Troy on the ice now with Huberty, Luth, Smith, and Carlson. Carlson runs the puck down. We'll go to Smith and now up to Huberty. Some nice passing there. Drop pass to John Troy. Some nice stick work. Gets the puck on her backhand. Almost looked like the Lakeville D tried to punch the rebound in there. I don't.
Yeah, it was a little awkward looking at it too. Trying to give it to the goalie, I think. But yeah.
A little aggressive, but no harm done. Skaters will stay the same. John Troy with the face-off win. D-to-D pass read well by Lakeville North, and they're on the counter. 3-on-2 if they move quickly, but Schuler in good position. Ends up with the puck on her stick. Chips it up the boards. 2 Sabers there. Eventually get it in the center of the ice to Huberty. Now she's got a 2-on-1 with John Troy. Her shot gets blocker to side. John Troy runs it down, gets it to Smith. Her shot is blocked. So Lakeville's pretty aggressive on the shot block. They're shutting us down pretty quickly in the zone there. Easy floating wrister gloved by Zoe Lewis. 3:57 left in the first. Off 1-5 Lakeville North, chipped up the far side boards. Krisak ties up. Puck ends up on her stick. She gets ridden into the boards and tied up. One skater and one of the local skaters there to help out. So we got 4 skaters over there. Rampart comes out of there quick, changes directions, tries to go up the boards to Knudsen, but a little bit too far. Lakeville tries to hold it in, but they chip it right back onto Knudsen's stick. She ended up losing possession to the Lakeville skater. Now she gets a deflection. Tochek's got it.
Oh, offside by a mile.
Yeah. Knudsen was waiting for the pass, and Tochek didn't send it, and she just couldn't slow herself down. I think she was surprised it wasn't coming. Anderson, John Shoy, and Telejohn, along with Lowy and Krisak. John Troy wins the face-off. That's about 2 or 3 in a row for her. Krisak tried to dump it in, but it got picked. Lakeville goes D-to-D. Cross ice pass gets picked by John Troy. Nice work. That stick is broken.
Oh, stick went in the net.
Yeah.
Too bad it wasn't the puck.
Half a point for that.
Yeah.
Puck gets held in, but that's a high stick for sure.
Chloe was all over that. She even had the arm up for offsides. You're calling it on yourself. There was a high stick.
It was a high stick.
High stick, my bad.
Didn't do us any good though because it lets them change and they get their stick with skater off the ice.
Yeah,
but,
correct.
oh, wow. John Troy gets booted from the face-off circle. I haven't seen that much this season. John wins the draw though, and John Troy ends up with it anyway. She goes around the boards shooting for Carlson, but pass got picked off. Backhand from Schuler ends up in a scrum in the neutral zone. That is too many skaters on the ice, but puck ends up on Rampart's stick. Ref let it go. Wrists are just wide. Luth giving chase along with Huberty now on the forecheck. Rampart collects, spins, and shoots. That goes wide. Carlson's going to pinch, hold it in. Rampart will fill her spot. Centering pass for Huberty. Great idea, but just couldn't get a stick on it. I think her stick might have gotten lifted at the last minute there. Lakeville gains possession of the puck, and now they're coming through the neutral zone with some speed. Tried to cut inside, and Carlson put a stop to that.
There we go.
Rampart over to Luth. She backhands it. Goalie sticks it aside. Shot is changing, so plenty of space for Lakeville to exit the zone. Going to chip it deep. And Krisak wins the race to the puck. John Troy, Knutson, Luth. John Troy and Knutson come out of there. Good poke check. Puts a halt to that counterattack, but John Troy regains possession. Gets tied up on the near side boards, eventually loses the puck, and Lakeville's going to chip it out of there. Knutson gets it as soon as it hits the neutral zone. She goes back to Krisak, goes cross ice, took a deflection, but ends up deep. Pocheck giving chase. Lakeville comes out of there pretty quick. Saber forecheck maybe a little lethargic today. Lakeville's getting out of their defensive zone with some real speed pretty quickly. Knutson tied up, loses the puck. Lakeville wrap it back around behind the net. Krisak up the boards to the Pocheck. She's going to center it for Knutson. Now she's got some speed through the neutral zone. Just pushed outside, but she's driving the net hard. Backhanded shot is in. Nicely done by Knutson. You see that play developing for quite a while. Nice little backhanded flip.
Yeah, she had the goalie go to the other side of the net there and just took the short side and hammered it home.
Easy. That is Lauren's 6th goal of the season. She is now tied for the team lead in points with Ella Rampart. John Troy, Anderson, and Telejohn on the ice now. Face-off ends up on Telejohn's stick. Puck comes out and cleared. Krisak attempted to put it back in, got blocked. Sabers were going to have to touch up anyway. Carlson goes up the boards to Anderson. Gets intercepted. Carlson steps up, tries to get it deep. Anderson ends up with the puck. This shot from a bad angle is gloved, and we're going to stop it. John Troy will come off, but the other 4 will stay. So now we've got Rampart, Anderson, and Telejohn, along with Carlson and Chloe Krisak. Rampart wins the draw, goes off a skate, ends up on Carlson's stick. She gets it deep. Ella, backhanded centering pass, got cut out by Lakeville. Little change of directions, and then up the near side boards. Krisak's there. Up the ice to Telejohn. She's going to try to go through the middle of the ice to Rampart. Lakeville is there. Slowed down the counter, and now they have possession of the puck in their neutral zone. They're going 1-on-5 there, and it's not successful. Huberty comes out of there with it. Only momentarily, though, as Lakeville is able to get it deep. Again, 4 minutes and 20 seconds left in the first. Schuler backhands it up the boards, and Faith Huberty comes out of there. She's got some room. Oh, nice little deke there. Centering pass. Oh, Luth got tied up from behind. No penalty call coming. Huberty with the floating centering pass. And Luth and the Lakeville North defender are getting into it a little bit. Kind of feisty. I like it. Lakeville North comes out of there. Schuler intercepts and dumps it deep. Luth will change. John Troy back on the ice. Along with Tocek and Knutson. Good pressure by that line. John Troy able to chip beat. Knutson on that forecheck. Tocek gets a stick on it to stop the breakout, but puck pops out to neutral ice anyway. Knutson tries to skate it in and poke checked away. Lakeville North gets it out finally and into the zone. Will stop and change the direction. Puck got all the way in on Lewis. Went through a lot of traffic there without getting deflected. Pops out of the zone. Tocek gets tied up against the boards. They both go down. Puck goes up to Knutson. She slappers it in and she'll get off the ice. Rampart giving chase now. Telejohn coming off the bench with some speed. Puck comes around the boards. That's going to get held in by Krisak. Her wrister gets intercepted. The chip goes up off a shin guard, held in momentarily. The other Krisak slaps it deep. Anderson Telejohn trying to get the forecheck to do some work. Puck gets held in nicely there by Cam Krisak. John Troy's on the ice now, helping out. We got 3 Sabers over there. And puck pops out to neutral. Center ice. Carlson runs it down. Pass to Anderson goes off a skate. Anderson up to John Troy. Back on Anderson's stick. Back to Telejohn. That's a hand pass.
Refs were quick on that one.
And they were. They were. Face-off's going to come out to neutral zone. No, all the way down.
Ooh.
So Anderson, Telejohn, John Troy, Carlson, and Schuler. 1-1 with a minute 56 left in the first period. Telejohn pops out of there with the puck. Gonna dump it deep, I think. Yep. Tries the off-speed pitch. Gets it down there. Anderson all by herself. Can't do much to hold up the breakout, and Lakeville comes through the neutral zone. Let's chip it deep. Carlson's there. Just gotta help with Schuler, Rampart, and Luth. Trying to get that quick one-timer off the boards to the middle as they're exiting the zone, and Lakeville seems to be expecting to pick that off a couple of times. Carlson and Rampart in the corner. Well, here comes Anderson as well. 3 Sabers and 2 Lakeville North. What is Lakeville North? Are they the Panthers? Cougars? Anyway, 2 of those skaters. Wrister from them goes wide. Luth is going to run it down. She gets the puck to Anderson in the middle of the ice. She's got a little room to go, but it's 1-on-5. She tries to go through the legs. It hits a skate, and Lakeville tries to go back the other way, but the pass is intercepted by Smith. She bangs it down the boards. Tocek, John Troy, and Huberty on the ice. So they'll get the turnover, though. Puck chip back to Smith. Now up the boards to John Troy. She's going to go back to Smith. She wrists it towards the front of the net. Hit down, redirected by Tocek. Ended up on John Troy's stick, and she had a good opportunity, but didn't have enough room to do much with it.
One more chance here.
Yeah, this has been fantastic.
To the point.
The last
Shot,
50
tip.
seconds.
Oh.
Wrister goes just wide, gets tied up on the net, and goalie's going to grab it.
Pull the goalie. Pull
Yeah,
the goalie.
That's right.
Pull the goalie.
Mitch is not as aggressive as Scott.
2.7 seconds left. Get that 6 stick out there.
I like it. Actually, with John Troy, she's been,
right to the net.
Yeah. I was going to say, she's been pretty good at the draw. She
That's what you want.
Back or a slapper
You
anyway.
could, but I think you go straight to the net as that, and you just attack the net.
Yeah. Well, she got the puck there, but the rest of the team didn't get the message. So we'll take a little 1-minute break, and we'll be back in a couple Back in action for the second period. Sabers heading left to right this period. Tochek, John Choi, Huberty, along with Schuler and Smith. Schuler tied up on the near side boards, loses the battle, ends up on the boards deep in the defensive zone for the Sabers. We did confirm during the break that Lakeville North is the Panthers.
All right.
John Choi comes out of there. Nice little stick work to chip the puck up the far side boards. Ends up tied up though. Smith and Tochek over there with a couple of Panthers. It's so much easier to say Panther skaters than it is Lakeville North. Puck pops out of there. They're going to look to change directions. Long cross ice pass gets through everybody. Oh, collision going for the puck, and both Smith and the Lakeville North skater hit the boards. That happened to Kenzie Cook in the varsity game the other day. That was pretty scary. That sounds like she's doing well. Wrister, stick save and covered by Zoe Lewis.
Yeah, anytime they hit the boards hard like that, and you hear that sound, it just kind of makes you cringe a little bit.
All the parents cringe.
Yep.
But they both got up. It seemed no worse for the wear. So.
Yep.
Rampart wins the draw. Krisak gets to the puck. She's got a Panther draped all over her, but gets it around the boards. Puck chipped out to middle of the ice. Ends up intercepted by a Panther. Rampart and Anderson trying to chase it down. Couldn't get there. Telejohn, Rampart, Anderson, Krisak, and Krisak. Telejohn's going to put some pressure on that cross-ice pass. Hide it up for a minute. Lakeville tries to go up the far side boards. Pass is intercepted. Rampart gets it towards the net, but not on the net. Shaka was thinking about changing and nobody was over there. Krisak gets it back momentarily in the zone, and then Lakeville chips it out. Chloe Krisak up to Rampart, and she's got Knutson with her. During the break, or during the first period, Lakeville added several new skaters, so they are no longer as short-handed as they were. Nice stick work to get out of the defensive zone, and Lakeville North dropped past the 32 wrister. Zoe Lewis was in a good spot for that one, but that seemed like it could be trouble when she dropped that pass back.
She dropped that, and she was in the slot, like a goalie's worst nightmare right there.
Yep, absolutely. Good position, though. Saw the puck all the way. Huberty taking the draw. Tochek, John Troy, Carlson, and Schuler on the ice. Wrister almost gets on net. It's a hefty battle going on out front. Lakeville North skaters were getting knocked down left and right, so Shakopee is doing his job well. Puck kicked in deep by John Troy. Tochek is first forward in on the forecheck, ties him up. Does her job. John Troy helps out. Puck ends up, bounced right towards John Troy's stick and just hopped over. Lakeville manages to skate it all the way up and out the ice, all the way down behind the net. Carlson ends up tying up the puck. Huberty bodies Lakeville North skater into the boards. Puck pops out. John Troy's right on it. Pretty physical game. Not in a dirty way yet. Backhand around the ice, ends up on Tochek's stitch. Tries to go cross ice. Too much for Huberty, but ended up kind of near John Troy, and she was able to get a deflection. Up and out to Schuler, who's able to chip it deep. Good hustle by Rampart. She's first to the puck. Misses it.
Oh.
Rampart gets the puck back. Her centering pass for Anderson bounced
Oh,
over
no.
the stick. Little communication issue for the Sabers. Rampart spins and fires. Nobody there for the rebound. Pops out to Krisak. The wrister ends up on Telejohn's stick. He couldn't do much with it. Held in the zone. Anderson backhands it. Rampart giving chase. They're going to try to come back where they came. Anderson gets the puck, and they're able to skate it out. Nice poke check there by Karen Krisak, and Telejohn comes to help out. Ends up shooting the puck down the near side boards. Intercepted eventually by Lakeville. Nice aggressive play by Aubrey Smith there. She'll chip it deep and chase it, and the majority of the Sabers are going to change. Lakeville trying to come off the near side boards, and they will escape. There is not going to be an icing call. That was a nice pitching wedge there. Kind of killed it before it ended up going too deep for an icing call. Sabers can't get it out of the zone. Lakeville held it nicely in. Good interception there by Krisak. Tries to go up to Luke, but she loses the puck. Shot fired on Zoe Lewis. She sticks it aside. Rebound ends up on Aubrey Smith's stick, and she's going to ice it.
That would be a much-needed icing, I think.
There are a couple skaters that have been out there for a while, both knees.
Yeah.
So 9:55 left. Nobody has scored in the second, so we've got 1-1. Huberty, Luth, Knudsen, and Krisak and Carlson on the ice.
A little timely queued up ice, baby, for the icing call there.
He's been waiting all week to
right?
drop that. Huberty got booted from the faceoff circle. That's twice in one game. Real particular about that. But
He's probably reffing the Wild game tomorrow.
yeah, that's right. Don't warm up. Huberty ends up in the stitch. Tries to go back around the net, but puck is poked away. Comes back to Luth. Gets it up to Knudsen. Tries to go back and around. Ends up getting intercepted. Lakeville gets it deep, but isn't chasing. No icing. Went over a...
Oh!
It's about the third time the Sabres have skated either into or almost into each other today, so... I know they jumbled the lines a little bit. Oh my goodness. Center pass went right across the crease. Deflection popped up really high.
Yeah, I don't know what it went off of, but it certainly went up high.
Yes, it did. And I couldn't believe it got all the way, it was from no angle and it got all the way across the crease. Pops out to the D for a wrister. Rampart's in the right spot. She manages to get it out to center ice.
Get it.
Tocek gets to the puck. It's on her back, and then she backhanded shot gets deflected, so there wasn't a ton on it. But
I think that shot that got deflected so high went off of Zoe's foot, off her skate. Not her pad, but I think it actually hit her skate.
Yeah.
And
I was wondering how it got.
That's I thought,
anything.
I think that's what it went off of.
That makes sense. Huberty, Tocek, and John Shoy. John Shoy got the wrister off, went high off the pad, shoulder pads. Lakeville on a breakout. A little bit of a 2-on-1 here if they can move quickly, but lose control of the puck. Huberty comes back to collect, goes up the boards, too far for Tocek, and Lakeville able to hold in. Lakeville skater kind of wide open in the middle of the ice for a minute there, but couldn't control the puck. Goes back to their D. That wrister is going to get blocked by Huberty, but another shot. Zoe Lewis was screened at least for half of that shot. Good save and managed to keep the rebound close.
Oh, yeah, that girl was right there for the rebound, too.
Yeah.
A couple good saves there.
Yep. We'll get a full 5-skater change. Our Sax sisters in at D along with Rampart, Telejohn, and Emma A. Chloe Krisak fires around the boards. Telejohn can't get there though. Now Cam's on the puck. Rampart goes to help. Good physical play there. Bodies her off the puck. Goes right over a stick. Held in. Telejohn finally gets it out. Spins and dumped deep. Cam Krisak partially deflected it, so no icing. It's going to pop out of there, end up on Rampart's stick. She goes off the near side boards, shooting for Telejohn. Couldn't get it to her, but Lakeville North fired it right into Telejohn and ended up deflecting down, ended up in the offensive zone. Krisak holds it in, backing into down the boards. Rampart was giving ground, so Lakeville had a little bit more room to exit the zone. Skating with some speed around the back of the net. Sabres did a good job forcing them wide. Puck ends up weakly cleared, back on a Panther stick, and they're right back in the zone. Try to cut back to the middle, but Telejohn will stop to that. Cross ice pass is going to go all the way across ice. Anderson is ready for a change, as is that entire line of forwards, and so the puck ends up fired back deep and deflected deep by Lakeville. Oh, stick lift looks mighty aggressive there.
Yeah, I think Chloe was a little exaggerative there.
Knutson manages to get it out the zone, but Sabers can't control the puck long enough to do a whole lot with it.
Oh boy.
Dangle attempt gets stuffed by Krisak. Bouncing puck kicked out, but up but not out, I should say.
Oh. Ah.
Aggressive redirect there. They know what they're doing.
Are you sure?
Makes the parents nervous.
Oh.
Turnover in a bad spot again. About the fourth one in a row. Somebody's probably going to ice it. Krisak finally gets it out.
It came out of the zone.
Yeah. Chip deep. There it goes.
There we go. Oh.
Well, into a skate, but
that's 2 icing attempts tried.
Knutson intercepts. She manages to get it deep finally. She's still on the puck, battling 2 Panthers. Puck pops out to Huberty. No angle shot popped out right down the center of the ice there. Sabers couldn't get a stick on it. Puck goes Huberty coming off the ice, the puck went right past her.
She was fully committed to going to the bench.
Puck fired deep by Schuler, stick to side. Kocek gets it behind the net. She's got a little bit of space. Centering pass ends up going to Carlson. She was on her back and didn't do a lot with it. Rampart put some pressure on, as was John Choi. John Choi gets to the puck, and Rampart gets it centered, but Sabers can't get on the end of it. Schuler intercepts the exit, and Kocek will chip it up. Lakeville rips it around the boards, and Carlson ties him up. Puck is held up, ends up on John Choi's stick, and the wrister gets gloved. That was good pressure on that shift. Kept the puck down there for quite a while. Huberty, Telejohn, Anderson, Kate Krisak, and Aubrey Smith on the ice. 4:27 left in the second. Sabers out shooting Lakeville 13-7. Doesn't really feel like that though. Lakeville on the move again. Centering pass. Krisak tied up the stick nicely, didn't let the shot get off. Pass back to the D ends up clearing the zone. We appreciate them helping us out with that. Huberty ties up the puck on the boards.
They're not going to call a penalty, are they?
They are.
They're going to get Huberty on a trip there?
I believe so.
I think. Offsides?
Yeah, it must have been offsides.
Okay, because that would have been a really weak tripping call.
Yes, agreed.
It just happened simultaneously. The arm went up at the same time. Whew. Oh boy.
Took a funny bounce off Smith's foot. Ended up in a 2-on-1, and the one-timer goes high over the blocker side. I don't think there was a lot Lewis could do with that one. That was
that just took a bad hop off there, and then
Lakeville did a good job taking advantage of it. Unfortunately. So 2-1 deficit for the Sabers. Get some fresh skaters on the ice.
Shots on goal are in favor, 13-8 of the Sabers. You know.
Hasn't felt like a lot of dangerous opportunities.
No.
You know?
Again, that one just took a very fortunate Lakeville bounce.
Yeah. Up the boards, kind of bounced weird off Smith's skate.
Yep.
Right onto a Lakeville stick. I mean, anywhere else it would be fine.
100%.
But
that's all right. Go get it back.
That's right. Krisak back to chase down the puck. She goes up the boards to Luth, hits Luth in the foot, and goes back where it came from. We're going to try again. Luth centering pass intercepted and fired back down. Carlson gets there. She goes up the boards. There's a nice redirect up the boards. Nice little redirect pass by Knutson to Rampart. Rampart ends up trying to split the D. They were well positioned. She backhands it back to Knutson. Lakeville, some good stick work to get out of there, and Rampart eventually ties them up. Puck ends up in the neutral zone. They'll get it deep, tag up, and they're back on the forecheck. They hold the puck in momentarily, and it's going to be iced by Billy Brissett. So 2:30 left. Get some new skaters. Puck will come back into the defensive zone. Huberty, Schuler, Kochek, Smith, and John Troy. Well, the ref is getting picky about the face-off again. We didn't kick anybody out that time. We were just thinking about it. Smith goes up the boards, nobody home. It's going to be held in by the D. Got it stuck in her skates, but she kicked it back in, so. Huberty down low. Puck goes all the way out to the D. Wrister redirected. That was a nice redirect. It was just high.
Ooh.
And
that went
ends up
in
the back of the net. She fired it off the back of Zoe's leg.
Yeah, she was behind the red line back there and
just deflected off.
Just went for that angle shot off the back of something.
Smart play.
And it worked.
Yeah. So 3-1 now.
Ooh.
Or 1-3,
right.
as it were.
The Lakeville bench grow?
Yes.
I feel like it was really short when this game started.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're even up. We have one extra skater than them now.
Yeah, middle of the first and the.
So they only had like 5 extra kids when it first started.
Yeah.
So they must have thrown a couple kids down there at that first intermission.
Yeah, definitely.
To help them out.
Yep. John Troy
it's made a difference.
It has. Sack up the boards, picked off. John Troy deflection. Delays the entrance momentarily, but Lakeville back in the zone. Backhanded pass. Ends up on a Lakeville stick. Centering pass.
Get it.
Tochek goes for the pass to John Troy, but John Troy is tied up by Lakeville forward. Get a little break as they fire it into their own bench.
All right.
Rampart, Anderson, Telejohn, Schuler, and Carlson on the ice. Rampart wins the draw. Passes back to Carlson. Puck does not exit the zone. Thought it might have came out. Ends up on a Lakeville North stick. They clear the zone themselves. They'll chip it deep. Tag up. Oh, it goes out of bounds over the boards, actually, into the stands. So get a face-off back.
Andy's on it down there. Keep it, Andy. It's a souvenir.
That's right.
He did.
Yeah. Let's see if he goes in his pocket.
Yep, I think so.
He's taking it home.
All right.
Rampart wins the draw. Carlson will run it down. She'll go D to D to Schuler. Goes cross ice to Anderson, who can't control it. Telejohn. Oh, Lakeville's off, which will give us a nice break to exit the zone. Rampart's going to skate it in. She gets tied up. Telejohn over there to help. Back to Schuler. Ooh. Rampart went for the redirect. I think it hit her skate. 45 seconds left. Anderson gets it stuck in her own skates and loses the space she had. Momentarily held in, but not permanently held in.
Oh boy.
I'd be stronger on the puck there, Sabers. 27 seconds left, so plenty of time for Lakeville. Slapper gets kicked aside. Aggressive forecheck on Loof ends up putting the puck back in the zone. Puck gets deflected by Anderson and dies nicely in the zone. 7 seconds left. Oh, wow. That was not
3,
well
2, 1, buzzer!
Lakeville did a really good job catching us in a change there.
Boy, did they ever.
And just.
I thought they were going to run out of time, but that would have been good had Lewis not come up with the save there.
It wasn't going to go until after the
No,
blocker. So
100%.
you're going to get the resurfacing, so why don't you take a break for 10 minutes?
All right. Yep.
All right, welcome back to the third period. Sabers traveling right to left, down 3-1. Panthers win the draw. Immediately find some space in the neutral zone and get it into the offensive zone on the near side boards. Knutson, Smith, John Shea, and Laurel Hughes making an appearance. It's not even on my roster card. John Troy and Hughes on the far side boards, tied up with a couple of Panthers. Krisak and Krisak onto the ice. Krisak with a shot deflected off a Lakeville stick, took a funny hop. Lakeville goalie able to cover though. So Lakeville gained a bunch of skaters for the second period, and now they are back.
Oh yeah, it got a little smaller.
Yeah, so
I can't hear a word you're saying up
Yeah,
here,
it's
so
okay.
yeah.
oh, that's a goal. That is wrister from Cam Krisak, got redirected out front and it hit Rampart's foot, maybe? She's going through the line first, so she'll get credit for the goal, I think. A little bit of luck there. The goalie was sliding.
It happened really quick. I kind of actually missed it.
So
Rampart, right?
Yeah, off a skate.
Nice.
So if you wonder why Scott and I are speaking to each other like we're far away, he made us relocate, so I'm now standing like 10 feet away from him. Sabres back into the zone quickly, but unable to hold. Rampart does a good job slowing down the exit, and Telejohn able to get back on the puck and get it deep. Tochak on the ice now, along with Telejohn, Rampart, and both Krisaks. Puck bounced over Cam's stick. She does a nice job tying up the Lakeville skater, not letting them get possession of the zone. Wrister entry doesn't give Lewis too much trouble. Backhander up the boards to Anderson. Can't get it out. Immediately, goalie Krisak went cross ice. Lakeville backhanded pass ends up in their own defensive zone. Pass through center, intercepted by Huberty. Tried to go back to Luke, but unable to make the connection. Puck poked up the boards, but Lakeville holds it in. Bouncing puck goes over a Lakeville stick. Carlson's on it. Gets it up to Anderson. He gets it out. It's going to be an ice if it goes far enough, which it does. 12:45 left. Sabres down 1. And we'll get a face-off in the defensive zone. Anderson, Shooter, and Carlson. Booth to Anderson, but can't hold on to the puck, and it ends up back on a Lakeville stick and back in the zone. This shot is well wide, but Lakeville kind of wins the puck, wins the race to the puck. Pops out of there on the Carlson stick. She's going to go off the near side boards. Anderson's going to try to collect it, but she misses the puck. Her dad is being very annoyed about. Shooter up the boards to Luke. Can't control the puck, and Lakeville puts it back deep. Panther wrister from deep had some decent heat on it. I think it even hit the shot stick, but Lewis was in the right spot. Got it right in the stomach and managed to hold on to it. So stoppage for the faceoff because the Sabres and James get some new skaters on the ice. Smith and Ben Krisak at D, John Choi, Knutson, and Laurel Hughes. Knutson fires deep off the far side boards. Panther goalie stops it behind the net, but the wraparound exit gets intercepted by Smith. John Choi and Knutson with a good forecheck. Forced Lakeville to go back all the way around the boards. Ended up bouncing right over Chrisak's stick, so Sabers had to tag up. Pass off the near side board ends up on Newton's stick. She drives to the far side. She had the first Saber goal. Pass ends up on Smith's stick. Oh! Kick save. Goalie just barely got there, and John Troy couldn't quite get there for the rebound. Smith comes off for a change. Sabers managed to hold it in the zone.
Move. Oh,
Pass from John Troy to Knudsen.
okay, thank you.
Shot got deflected. Held in by Chrisak momentarily. She's battling. John Troy helping out. Pops out eventually. Laurel Hughes goes to Knudsen. She fans momentarily. Eventually gets it back. Tries to go cross ice to Rampart, but Panthers win the race to the puck, and now they're 2-on-2. The angle effort and ends up getting the shot off. Joe Luce is in good position. Telejohn, Rampart, and Knudsen, along with Chloe Chrisak and Carlson. Rampart comes out of there with some steam, loses control of the puck though, ends up on Knudsen's stick. She wheels and backhands it up the ice. She'll go for a change now. Telejohn by herself on the forecheck. Toechek onto the ice, pokes it, but it hits off Rampart's skate, ends up on a Lakeville stick. She overskates the puck and has to double back, eventually dumps it deep. Carlson's got a little bit of space for herself. Skates it behind the net, runs into some trouble, gets it up the boards and out. Centering pass, gets deflected, hits a stick, and eventually ends up back on Carlson's stick. He's able to find Luth, gets a wrister off, but gets patted down by the goalie. Toechek first for the rebound. She missed it. Carlson ends up with it. She goes, centers it to Huberty. Some strong skating on the puck. Bad angle shot. Doesn't trouble the goalie too much. She got a pad on it. Anderson on the ice. Puck back in the neutral zone. Able to
No, you're good.
shooters. She was just going to dump it in and it ended up hitting the skate. Great job by Smith covering. And then she wins the race to the puck. Now she's going to pin the Panther skater deep. Huberty goes to check out. 3 of the 4 go down. Huberty comes out of there with the puck. She has space momentarily. Goes to Anderson. She'll go back cross ice to Luth. She loses the puck. Almost gets it back. But now Lakeville's got it. Sabres were in the middle of a partial change. Lakeville's coming with some speed. Smith does a good job tying up the puck again. But Lakeville able to chip it deep and get a skater to control the puck going around the back of the net. Anderson tries to backhand it up the boards, up and not out. Still on her stick. She's got Laurel Hughes up in front. She's unable to get a pass to her, so she chips it deep. Laurel on the forecheck, causing some trouble. Exit pass goes right under Knudsen's stick. Lakeville coming out. She goes around. Chrisak drives the net. Shot gets sticked aside by Zoe Lewis. Came all the way out to John Troy, who skates it out. Lakeville puts it back in. Ends up on Chloe Chrisak's stick. She tries to go through the middle to Hughes, but the pass is deflected. Lakeville loses it. They're going to lose that race to the puck. Hughes is a very fast skater, but nice recovery, tie her up. Nothing there. Exit, bounces off a skate. Rolling puck goes past Knudsen, ends up Lakeville in control, but puck kind of ended up bouncing into a Chrisak, and Sabres got it back momentarily, but back in the neutral zone, back on a Lakeville stick. The Lakeville on the attack, pretty aggressive. Seems like Sabres are a little bit on their heels. Knudsen trying to do some stick handling through a couple of Panther skaters. Puck eventually bounces out to Schuler, who tries a wrister. Hit a shin guard. Rampart had a wrister that got deflected and then hit a skate. Schuler fires it hard off the far side board. She was just making sure to stop the puck. Eventually ends up on a Carlson stick. She's driving to her backhand. Poke checked away. Telejohn and Carlson in the same spot. Puck goes out to Schuler. Her shot got deflected. A couple of people tried to paw at it, missed. Rampart fanned a little bit on the wrister from the blue line. She was covering for one of the defenders, Carlson probably. Lakeville comes up the near side boards, but not out. Backhanded back behind the net by Carlson. Exit on the far side works as the Sabres were going for a change. Panther skater loses an edge as she runs into some traffic. Sabres able to clear the zone, but Knutson can't hold onto the puck and they'll go back on the offensive push. Drop pass to the D, bounced over her stick to clear the zone, and then another misfire on the Lakeville pass gets the puck deep in the Shakopee zone. Knutson putting good pressure on. She has the puck, tried a backhanded wraparound, almost got it, but she shorted it just a little bit. Krisak stepped into it, pulled it in the zone nicely, and then John Troy rung it around the boards. Hughes with a good body on the puck, pops out to Smith. She wrists it wide. Far side wrist for the puck, won by Anderson, but puck tied up by the Panthers. They find a little bit of space and they're able to exit. They'll chip it deep, go for a 4-skater change, so 1 skater back, put some pressure on Smith. Puck goes up past Anderson and held into the zone. Smith follows through, manages to get back on the puck. Eventually bounced to Laurel, who is backing up for defense. Anderson and Luth had a little space in the offensive zone, but couldn't connect on the pass. And Lakeville's going to chip it in on Lewis. She'll stick it aside easily. Rebound goes to Krisak, but Lakeville closing the space. Puck comes out of there on a Panther stick.
Oh.
Anderson with some strong skating. She's still on the puck. Her wrister, bouncing wrister, the rebound was right in front, in the middle of the crease. Nobody could get on it. Anderson tried a centering pass, nobody there. That was a surprisingly decent opportunity. Anderson ties up the Lakeville skater, and Puberty ends up on the puck, driving in the net. She's kind of all by herself, though. Saber change creates enough space for Lakeville to get out of there, get some speed, and fire a really hard shot. Ended up going wide. Kochek on the puck goes off the far side boards up to Telejohn. She loses control of the puck, and Lakeville back on the attack. Puck turned over to Schuler, but the pass off the boards didn't connect with Telejohn. Lakeville holds it in. 3 minutes left in the third period. 1 goal difference. Sabres need one here. Rampart, Telejohn, Kochek on the ice, along with Schuler and Carlson. Puck chipped deep, and 3 of the Lakeville skaters have changed. The 1 that's left on the ice doing some good work, putting pressure on Carlson. Manages to evade it, skate all the way out. She got tripped. Her shot fired into a shin guard. She lost the stick, but everybody's up and at them. That looked worse than it was, I think. Lakeville ended up with the puck. Chipped it deep. Knutson has to retreat to go get it. She'll go up the far side boards to Telejohn. Switches sides to Carlson. She fires it deep. That's going to be an ice.
That'll be icing.
So we'll get a stoppage with 2:28 left. Puck's going to come all the way back down the ice. Smith, and Krisak, Hughes, Knutson, and John Troy on the ice. Hughes will take the draw. Puck ends up on John Troy's stick. She gets tied up. And Lakeville skater beats a couple of Sabres, comes out of there with the puck. Kochek eventually gets the puck off her stick, but can't get out on the far side. John Troy pass got intercepted twice. Lakeville skater number 14 got all the way in. Knutson ended up knocking her down. I don't think the Panther skater was real happy with that. The ref didn't seem to care. Nice change of direction there by Smith to create a little bit of room for herself. She'll go up and around the boards. John Troy gets the puck, chips it over to first, but the second one ends up tying her up. There's 3 Panther skaters over there. Pops out of there, wrist will go well wide, backhanded deep, and Hughes will retreat to get it. She's got a Panther skater on her back and another coming. Manages to get out of there with the puck and chip it deep. She's still giving chase, as it's John Troy. Puck is too far for her. Held in momentarily by Krisak, but hit a Lakeville skate. And then Knutson got deflected and puck goes all the way down to the far side. Hard turn by her, but the Lakeville skate stayed straight with her. Puck poke check out. Lakeville's off, so they're going to have to tag up. That'll allow Carlson to retreat and get the puck. Her pass goes behind Luth up the boards, and that allows Lakeville to hit it back behind the net down to 50 seconds. And Krisak trying to get out of there with the puck.
There you go.
On the,
Let's go,
on
Faith.
the puck. It's a wrist.
It is! Oh, she missed!
The rebound was just hanging out there. I don't know how that didn't go in the net. Luth must have gotten deflected. Anderson's pass to Krisak gets intercepted, and they're going to get an empty netter. Oh, she missed.
Sorry, guys. Camera guy got stuck watching the play.
Puck is
Chloe
tied
gave
up.
that girl a shot. She hit the side of the net, went wide on the empty net.
Lakeville's on the puck. Everybody wants to score an empty netter. Oh, bouncing
Send
puck
that
goes
down.
over Luth. 13 seconds left.
Chloe plays it,
touches
10
no
seconds.
ice. Puck off the far side boards. Anderson giving chase. They're just going to kill it in the corner. 3 seconds, 2 seconds. Puck pops out of there, but that's the end. So the Sabres drop one 3-2. Despite out shooting the Panthers 20-17. We'll be back here tomorrow for another game. So we'll see you guys then.
Yep. Thanks for watching. See you guys tomorrow.